A continuing problem. That's how a woman who lives on the South Boston street where 3 people were shot Friday night describes what she's seeing right there in her neighborhood. Tonight, no suspects have been identified. 10 News reporter Colter Anstett tells us what the neighbor says needs to happen now.
No one's implemented nothing.
Implementing programs to improve the relationship between law enforcement in South Boston and Halifax County and the community is what one Glendale Drive resident who didn't want to be identified says needs to happen to prevent incidents like Friday's triple shooting.
Not only just this neighborhood, there are other neighborhoods that things need to be implemented to help.
She's lived on the street for over 40 years and watched the problems only get worse. While she strongly believes something needs to be done, she hasn't spoken to local elected officials or members of law enforcement.
My mouth is too big.
She hasn't talked to the people who live at the house where the shooting happened either.
They're not there on a regular basis to be targeted because half the time no one lives there.
South Boston Police Department Lieutenant Randy Redd says investigators have spoken to all 3 victims from the shooting but don't have many leads.
It's kind of chaotic when everything's going down. There was a lot of things to collect, a lot of things to evaluate.
To make matters worse, about 3 hours after the shooting, houses and cars were hit by gunfire on Fenton Avenue and Ellison Street.
We get extra hands on deck when we have something like this, of course, the sheriff's office is very good. We work with the sheriff's office this weekend. They assisted on a number of calls for service.
The 2 incidents are not believed to be related. All 3 shooting victims are recovering. In South Boston, Colter Anstett, 10 News, working for you.